been living here in Hickory. Work at the library here in town. Work some for my dad too, and still making lots of pictures and videos and stuff. I'm sitting at a reference desk at the library, just waiting for people to come up and ask questions, and then just kind of like, put my arm in front of what I'm doing and draw, and then flip it over or stick it in my pocket or whatever to make sure nobody that I don't want to see it sees it.
What about you, Josh?
Just been working at Starbucks.
The band has not existed since that show at the grain silo, and
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
that was a crazy show.
As far as every all of us getting together, it hasn't. But I talk to Will like pretty much every day, even though he's on the other side of the world. But he just gets on the internet and we talk on there. Well, there's there's people that probably belong in the asylum, some kind of mental facility or something, but they, for whatever reason, either maybe they were there for a while and they got let out, or they've just never been diagnosed, but they can't really function well in society. So, the library has to let anybody who wants to come in, and so crazy people and scary people take advantage of that. Homeless people too. It's like a club that has no bouncer. It's just, they'll let anybody through the door, and they've got heat in the winter, air conditioning in the summer, bathrooms, water fountain, and you won't be, most of the time you're not going to be harassed or bothered. You can just be your crazy homeless criminal self. There's some people that they have jobs and lives, but they might be have some kind of fetish, or might even be pedophiles, something like that, and they come in and they try to look at pornography or just check out the young kids that are also at the library. I mean, I don't work in the children's department, but they do see people come in the children's department. Like if you're an adult male in the children's department without kids, they're going to watch you like a hawk, because they just assume you're up to no good.
Yeah, why else?
Yeah, so, and then, I see the people that come in that are, they're in there every day, and they, this one guy that always looks at pictures of, Batman and Superman and Catwoman in bondage situations, and then he prints out lots of copies of the pictures that he finds. And this other guy that talks to, or I think he thinks he's talking to like Russian women, but I'm pretty sure it's just somebody puts up pictures of these random Russian women, and then it's a guy pretending to be them.
Yeah.
Exchanging letters or emails with other
sad information and hopefully money, I guess.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
That's kind of a service. It's kind of worth some money. I mean, it could cost him a lot more if he believes it than a normal sex service.
Yeah.
But, making somebody listen to you try to seduce Russian women for a long time, and you have to pretend to be those Russian women, that actually that's not like a get-rich-quick kind of con. That's more like a job.
Yeah.
A sad job.
It is a really sad job.
No matter where I live, I don't really escape that gas station. I try to go to at least once every 2 weeks at least.
I go there pretty much every day, it seems like.
Yeah, I would do that.
The people there are just, they're so happy to work there.
Yeah, that one guy, and I think about him if I had to wake up really early in the morning. He does it. So does Kurt Loder, Looked him up, he's still working and writing articles and stuff about music, so that motivates me to get up in the morning some days.
Do you have a picture of Kurt Loder that you can just look at?
No, I mean, I know his names. Like,
yeah. Because I have a picture of Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver in my bedroom.
oh, yeah.
It's like the
I know
first
that
time.
one.
Yeah, whenever I wake up, he's like my inspiration to live every day. Which may not be
Yeah,
good.
he just goes and drives his taxi every night. Sees terrible shit.
What have I done since the documentary? Broke up with a girl, or she broke up with me, rather. It doesn't fucking matter. We broke up. And, I was living in Raleigh when that happened. Moved in with my grandma, who's now dead, and lived there at her place for a while, and I was not employed. I just drank and shot up and just did drugs like all the fucking time. It was terrible. It was disgusting. Ended up, I had a seizure coming back from the methadone clinic one morning and ran my car through the front of a Bank of America, the one right next to Domino's. I think I was instinctively, which is sad, trying to get to Domino's. If I could just make it there, I thought I'd be safe for some reason. And the bank is like right next to it.
Why'd you have a seizure?
Because I used to be prescribed Xanax, and I would just take them and run out early. And one of the withdrawal things from that is seizures. And then I started having them like all the time. So, yeah.
So you went through a period of like having seizures, and
I've actually had one since I've been back in Hickory, but they're very infrequent now. So.
and then after that, you were living out at your grandparents' house for a while longer.
Yeah, for a little while longer, and then Nick's dad told me about this place called Freedom Farm Ministries, and I'm glad he did because it saved my life. And went there, stayed there for about a year, and got clean, and got my head where it needed to be, got my heart where it needed to be too, and it was just all around good for me. Then when I left the ministry, I kind of fell back into some shit for a minute, but I was able to kind of reel it back in relatively quickly and not get anywhere near as far down the line as I was,
Cool.
which was good. And then
You were in the woods.
yeah, I was living, I worked at this ham factory in Boone. I was living out back behind it, and I just walked everywhere, and I was homeless, and it wasn't that bad. It helped me kind of get my head straight. It really, really did. It helped me get my head right.
They didn't care if you worked and lived out back, or did they not know?
There's some people knew, but the ones that knew were nice to me. Like, I had a couple of girls that worked there that were really sweet to me, that would let me come stay at their place if I needed to do laundry or shower, or if I was like hungry or whatever.
How did you end up homeless? I kind of heard something about that.
Well, I started letting a bunch of guys, I got an apartment when I left the ministry, and I started letting a bunch of guys from the ministry come stay with me. And they were just like getting loaded during the day and drinking and harassing the other tenants there, and while I was at work. And it got me kicked out of my place.
What about coming back to Hickory?
Well, it was getting cold, and my folks kept bugging me. They were like, "Come stay with us, come stay with us." And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't need that. I'm fine. I like where I'm at. I liked being homeless. I really, really did." And then it started getting cold, and they kept bugging the shit out of me about it. And I was like, "All right, fine." So I moved back here. I started working at the mighty Domino's Empire again, and wow, this is going to be a shocker. I met a girl here at Domino's again, and she's actually really sweet, and sort of moved in with her. I didn't even mean to. I just started staying there and hanging out with her, and I realized, like, I've been here 2 weeks. She's like, "You can stay if you want," so that's where I'm at. And I'm just working, I'm clean, no, none of this. I'm straight. I drink every now and then, but not like I used to at all. I'm just trying to take better care of myself and stay where I need to be,
Cool. I'm glad to hear all that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Cool. If you run out of time, I understand, but if not, I can probably come up with some other stuff to...
I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
That's all right, man. No, I'm glad you're doing okay.
Come here. It's good to see you. It's good to see you too, man. God bless you. Joshua.
See you, man.
Tell Liz I said hey,
care.
all right? You guys take care of yourselves, all right?
All right, you too.
You too, John. Looks like you're doing good, Uncle.